Hello and welcome to Castival. This is the podcast which brings on brilliant guests to pitch their dream music festival. My name is Matt Hoss and I'm a host, and I'm here to guide you around their festival. Today's guest is the host of the award-winning Insane in the Membrane podcast. He's a radio DJ, and he's one of the most lovely people in stand-up comedy. It is Rich Wilson. Hello.
Oh, hello. What a wonderful introduction. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I've been preparing it for years. It's an absolute treat to have you, Rich.
My pleasure, mate. It's my pleasure. Are you all right? You well?
Yeah, I'm doing absolutely fantastic. It's the end of a long day, but this is certainly definitely cheering me up. So thank you.
Isn't it good though to have long days now, where you've got things to do, where you're not just staring out the window and crying over Netflix?
Oh, I still do that. That's a good day, to be fair. But I think the reason when I started this podcast is when I was furloughed originally from my day job, and it kind of gave me purpose, and it still does give me purpose, and it's the reason why I love it, and also why I love music as well. It kind of gives me reason to kind of think and explore and love.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, it's without music, I don't know what I would have done. Music gets me through everything. Mm-hmm. I'm obsessed. I love it. I love it.
The way I like to start every episode, Rich, is I like to ask, if someone were to ask you what kind of music are you into, how do you typically respond to that question?
I always say everything, really. I'm not. I mean, my Mrs. Jade will say otherwise, but I always say I'm into everything, really. I mean, I'm in a bit of everything. You know, I used to struggle with musical theatre, that sort of thing, but
yeah. Now
I've even got my favourite songs from Hamilton. You know, it's a very broad spectrum. Depends what mood I'm in.
Yes.
Everything. Nothing is off limits to me. I love it all. I struggle with Peter Andre. You know, he's a nice guy, but the music's terrible. But you know.
It's nice that you're like, I like everything. I even like Hamilton, but not Peter Andre. Draw the line there, mate. Thank you very much. What a good line to have.
He sounds like a lovely dude, but I can't. I'm sorry, mate. Can't bring myself to have that in my collection.
Well, it's an absolute shame because the whole of this podcast is entirely Peter Andre focused. I'm not sure if you got the memo beforehand, but it's very focused.
Imagine that. It's going to be a whole festival about Peter Andre.
Yeah. One of these days, that's what I'm going to pitch. People are wondering, Matt, what would Matt Hoss bring to his festival? It's a Peter Andre festival. It's the end of times, really. Also, I think we have a lot of great comedians on here, and but I think you may be one of the first people to have their own radio show as well. So how you do the Tuned Up Time Machine on Islington Radio, and how is it being a DJ? And do you like exploring new music through that, or is it personalised taste? Tell us more.
Oh man, I love putting those playlists together, and you get a feeling about what goes with what. So I always start off with an absolute banger to kick off the show. Mm-hmm. Always make sure there's a kick-ass tune at the top, and then you go along and you go, right, okay, what? And then you can go, I haven't put. It was one I put together. I'm like, there's no women on this. Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
And I went back through. And then you go, right, and then you look at genres, you're looking at, there's no hip-hop on this one, so I go and have a look for some decent hip-hop and put that in. So I make sure there's something for everybody in every episode. And the thing is, I love every track that's on. I just love it all. So nothing gives me greater joy than putting that show together. Mm-hmm. It's next level, yeah. And then it's great.
Have you always been quite good at making mixtapes? Because I love that thing where you put something together and you're like, oh, that goes with that. And that streams nicely into the next one. Yes. I love that. Have you been quite good with that kind of thing?
I have wooed many an ex-partner
yeah.
with my kick-ass musical taste, and then they find out that that's all I've got. They're like, oh no, he's lacking in all other areas. Well,
we are too similar, Rich. We are too similar, mate. Yeah.
There was something about back in the day when you'd put a cassette together for someone. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just about the track listing. Like, that had to be immaculate, and you had to make sure that you didn't cut the last song off. So you had to make sure there was plenty of space. So it's all about the timing, but then the artwork as well. You'd make some lovely artwork for the cover as well, and really put some effort into it. Michael Smiley, when I first hung out with him, he made me a load of compilation CDs, and they all had individual names on them. One of them was Wilson's Pickets. I'm having that.
That's great.
So it's all that you have to put the effort into on every level. It's not just about the music; it's everything to entice someone into your life.
Absolutely. And did you ever name any of your CDs or playlists or anything like that? Because I think it does. I used to have one called Matt FM where in between the links I pretended I had my own radio show, which is which I think saying that to a DJ is quite offensive. Really, just like it's like I was going to fulfill your dream, really. So yeah.
No, it's great, man. It's great that you did that. Mine was kind of groovy. Was a favourite of mine.
Was it kind of groovy?
Absolutely. And I think it comes from there was a record called that, and I just liked it, and I think Call 2 or something like that. I can't remember what it's called, but it's actually called That Song. Mm-hmm. And I just liked it, and that just resonated with me. So yeah, there's a lot of cassettes out there in waste paper baskets called Kinda Groovy.
I would love to pick up a copy of that in the future as well. It'd be good. And in fact, at the end of this, if you wanted to make me a mixtape, that I'm absolutely okay with that. I'll definitely be up for that.
I'll send it. I'll do it for you, just for you. I'm going to start bringing them back. I think because cassettes are coming back in. They're like a novelty value, so I might start putting Kinda Groovy out there again.
Yeah. That sounds. Oh, I'm so excited as well. Like, I feel like, I can't wait to be wooed by Rich Wilson. To be great. It's my life dream come true.
I'm going to start wooing you. Yeah, I'm going to start. Yeah.
And on top of that, Rich, did you ever want to be a musician before being a comedian?
Oh God, yeah, absolutely. I wanted to be a drummer. I drummed a bit. But my dad said it sounded like someone pushing a shed down the stairs. So
that's very vivid.
It didn't go very far. Yeah, it didn't go very far. But luckily, because of that, because I used to live in a house that didn't have any neighbours, and so we had a drum kit in my lounge, and my sons used to come over at weekends, and my youngest used to just bang around on the drums. Mm-hmm. And now he's at BIM, the music college in Bristol. So
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so I'm well chuffed with that. So my lack of drumming propelled my son into he's a fantastic musician, piano and all sorts. So there you go. So yeah,
that's fantastic. Do you ever live vicariously through your son? Be like, oh yes, I'm very good at that. Thank you.
It's because of me that my eldest is a dancer. Yeah.
Yeah.
All that rubbish. Yeah. My sons are cool because of I. Yeah. I actually wooed their mum with a cassette. So there you go.
Feeling groovy, yeah.
But she actually, I remember because this was 30 years ago already, and I remember giving it to her, and we were playing it when we first got together, and she's like, I don't really like level 42, but yeah, it's all right, and just was like picking holes in it.
Oh my god, so,
yeah,
brutal.
But, we fell in love, so it worked.
Oh, very nice. We're going to be talking about music festivals. I'm talking about your music festival very shortly. But have you been to many music festivals outside of work, or just for pleasure?
Oh yeah, I've been. The first one I ever went to Glastonbury in 2002. I hadn't been before that for some reason, but I went there once, and then I've been there. I used to work at Glastonbury selling T-shirts for a T-shirt company.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. So I've seen incredible bands. I've experienced incredible things. Mm-hmm. Just for working at the festival. So not even for comedy. This is way before.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I've spent a lot of time at Glastonbury, and
that's amazing.
Great days, man. Great days. I don't know how. What are we talking age level on this podcast? What can we talk about? Everything.
Anything and everything. Absolutely.
I have been so fucked up at festivals. It's unbelievable.
But yeah, honestly, although we have a lot of awesome guests, that's something we don't really talk about that much. We don't. That's
because everyone's pretending that they're all clean and they're all. Oh yeah, I went to a festival. I went to a literary festival and all that. No. You go to festivals to get off your nut. It's a safe space for that. That's what you do it for. It's all closed in. You can't wander off into traffic. Mm-hmm. You're there to get as fucked as you can. And I don't know Well, I don't know why people hide this.
Well, yeah, well, finally we have whistleblower Rich Wilson coming on here to lift the lid on the crazy nights of festivals.
I'm going to go back through all your list of guests. I'm going to expose them all for the liars that they are.
Yeah, it's going to have a whole expose.
Yeah. Go, well, I know for a fact that he's done ecstasy, and I know for a fact that they... Yeah, I'm going to go through it all.
Yeah, I'm going to cancel my podcast one act at a time. Thank you very much.
No, I'll bring some truth. I'm going to do a festival of truth. That's what I'm going to do.
What is one of the most crazy nights you remember? Or don't remember?
Yeah. So, there was one night that I had some mates that were at the festival. I was working the festival, and we were doing some things, and we were taking stuff that we shouldn't have done, and then we went off to watch Kings of Leon before they were massive. Mm-hmm. They were incredible. But Kings of Leon are on first, and then Oasis were closing the show when Liam had his bright white Parker on.
Oh yeah.
And so all the stuff I've been taking all day starts to kick in, and I'm watching what's going on, and I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then I turn around and I'm on my own. I've created this like space behind me because my flatulence was so bad. I had this had this massive semicircle behind me of nothing. Everyone had backed off, and so I got to, yeah.
I've never before heard in this podcast. Yeah, I farted so much I created my own mosh pit. Is great.
Basically, I was on my own in a sea of 10,000 people. It was amazing. An island of flatulence. It was in amongst all this stuff.
With your merch stand, you should at your festival smell Fragrance the Wilson, where you unleash like the stink bomb and create like your own aura around you. Like if you want to be at the front, like yeah, there you go, just drop it, bang, fart your way to the front.
There you go. Hey, fart your way to the front. That's what we'll call it. There you go. Because there's nothing more annoying than when just before the band cut, like any gig. I've been to thousands of gigs. And I'm not very tall. I'm only like 5'8", 5'7", 5'8". And every time the band are about to start, all the giants walk in and stand in front of them. And it really annoys me. So I think fart your way to the front, I think is a movement, an actual movement we can start. That's brilliant.
For short people like you and I, just be kind of just kind of like but yeah, we don't want to see your shoulder blades anymore. Let's fart our way to the front.
Yeah. You're already tall. Stand at the back, you lanky git. Just let me have a look.
I would like a music festival where everyone's in height order. Oh, that would just appease me so much. You know what I mean? Like everyone is it's a kind of equity kind of thing. It'd be great.
It's like banks, isn't it? It's like raised up. Yeah, absolutely in height order, and I don't see what's the problem. It's so annoying when you get a really good space. You're like, right, I'm ready. And then all these step ladders come in and stand in front of you. And you're like, what is going on? Like people on stilts wearing top hats and dealy boppers. You're like, I can't. This is ridiculous now.
And particularly at Glastonbury, flags. People bring their flags and just like, you know what? For the whole weekend, I'm going to wave this so you can't see anything for the whole weekend. It's like, yeah, cheers. Thanks, Devon's Cornish pasty industry. I don't need that. Thank you very much. Like, I don't want to see a smiley face instead of like Dolly Parton. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Thanks, mate.
With those ideas in mind, I think it's time to head over to the background information to your music festival. Let's go and set up camp. Hello and welcome to Season 3 of Castival. Great to have you back. If you like what we do, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and write us a little kind review. Also, why don't you share our podcast? Tell a friend about it. Word of mouth really helps spread the word, so please help us do that. Why don't you tweet at us at Castival Podcast and drop me a follow at Matt Hoss Comedy. Why don't you watch me on Twitch at Matt Hoss Comedy? If you like sci-fi books, why don't you buy my book called Purify from www.matthosscomedy.com. Enjoy the rest of the episode. Cheers. Castival, if you can hear me, I want you to sing along. Go for it. One more time. You got it. Rich, what is the name of your music festival?
Oh, that's a good question. That is a good question. I think we'll just go with Wilson. Just call it Wilson.
That's nice. It feels very arty, you know what I mean? Like Wilson.
Yeah. Not even festival of, not even they won't know if it's connected to me or if it's connected to like the neighbour that was in Home Improvement or the football in whatever that was called in the Tom Hanks film.
Or the dog from Friday Night Dinner. Who knows? Hopefully
that's it. So
if
you've got to connect, if you've got anything that's got that on it, you can get in for free.
That's amazing, and I think it should be the main name should be called Wilson, but the parentheses, the slogan should be "Feeling Groovy." You know what I mean? I think that should be there. It's part of that cheekiness of it.
Yeah, there you go. So kind of groovy, and it's Wilson, kind of groovy, and that's it. And it'll just be, and you'll be able to see that from far and wide. And I think that'd be wonderful. I'd love that. And it's not in an arrogant way, but I just think it adds a little something, I think it's sophisticated until you smell it, until you get there and you smell it.
Yeah, it's like, are we nearby? Yep. Yes, we are.
Yeah. Oh God, do we have to go any closer? Well, we're not even in there yet.
If you think that smells bad, wait till you go to the Portaloos.
Wait till Oasis come on.
Hopefully you won't be wearing a white parka for too long. But so we have the name, but whereabouts geographically would you like your festival to be?
Oh, that's a good point, actually. I think I would stick it right in the middle of the country. I think. Yeah, I think that's more. I think that's just better for everybody. Right in the middle, slap bang in the middle, so everybody can get to it, and it's. Or maybe we'll just turn the whole of the British Isles into one big Wilson.
Yeah.
Why don't we do that? The whole place is a festival.
Yes. Oh my God.
It takes you it's going to take you 4 days to get to the Welsh bit, but it's well worth your time.
Yeah.
Scotland is part of it. I think we should do that. We'll do each part of the British Isles becomes its own thing. So the whole place is Wilson. Everything in Scotland is about Scotland. If you want to go and have a bit of that up there, you go up there, and the whole festival lasts a year.
Oh my God. Right, in the space of 2 minutes, you've really gone from you've gone up a couple of gears very fast. You've gone. It's not only is it a national holiday for the whole British Isles in my name, and also it's for a year.
I think what's happened now is the power has gone to my head, and this is world domination, country by country. This I need to dial it down a bit. I've gone mad with the power. I've gone mad. Now I'm like, call it Wilson. We're going to call the whole thing Wilson.
By the end of this festival, you're going to be the supreme leader Wilson, and you're going to dominate the whole world. Where every day is a new festival in your name and honor. That'd be good. Yeah,
there's no work anymore. We all just party forever. And when you leave the planet and you come away from the planet, it's in the shape of my head. This sounds really arrogant, actually. I need to dial it down a bit.
No, dial it up. I want to see you take on aliens next.
Oh yeah, and then we go to Mars. We've already reached there. We need to put a festival on Mars. Yeah, we just go around putting festivals on different planets. I think if you're going to do a festival, it's got to be somewhere where the weather's decent. I think Cornwall's pretty decent. I think we just chop Cornwall off, and we'll have the festival in Cornwall. Yeah, let's do that.
Never before have I had a guest just so eagerly willing to chop off parts of the UK and just, like I said, to kind of dominate the world. Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to calm it down now. I mean, the whole of the British Isles, that's ridiculous. You'll never get that. And obviously, we still need to work to earn money to take drugs. So I think let's do it in Cornwall. Let's have the whole of Cornwall. Yeah. and let's do it for a month. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. I like how you've kind of like, right, I've gone too far, I apologise, but we are having the whole of Cornwall for a month. That sounds good. I love that.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. I think that's the way forward.
And obviously, beforehand, you talked about festivals being a place for drunken debauchery, and so is that what the kind of focus of the festival, or what is it? Is it focused on the music, or do you want people there to kind of get a bit crazy?
I think it's a safe space to just really let your hair down, which is what festivals should be about. It's about, they've all become a bit too corporate now, to be honest. It's all about, 20 quid for a burger and stuff like that. I think this should be, I think you pay one price on the way in, and then you can have whatever you want. You can have burgers, you can have beer, whatever you want. And I mean, I don't know how much the tickets would be, like 20 grand. But,
yeah.
I think we need to get back to that fact that this is a safe space to have fun, So, and if you, I mean, obviously you can have a good time, but if you go too far and you're upsetting other people, then you're out. But this is about having a good time amongst other people having a good time. That's the emphasis. So the music's banging, the food is great, the beer is great, or whatever you want to drink. This is a safe space for you to just let your hair down and do some things that you might normally do. Nice safe space. That's what that is. Yeah,
that's amazing. And I love the idea because I do agree that I think a lot of festivals are very money orientated now, and which I understand, but also it's so expensive for what everything is. It's like £6 for a pint. Yeah, I just think it's a nice. I love the idea, and I love the it being a safe space for people. It's I think it's nice, touching, and it's very you as well, and I think that's really much appreciated as well.
Well, I think there'll be people there to, for want of a better phrase, to police it, but they're not policing it to stop you taking drugs. They're just making sure that nobody gets hurt. That's the main thing. So there's going to be all manner of places that you can go if you're losing your marbles a little bit. You can go off and there's a place. There's counsellors and things like that, and there's people, because there's going to be some people that are not very nice people that get in amongst it, and so there's people around to make sure that doesn't happen. But the vibe of the festival is to cut loose, have fun, and do the things that you wouldn't normally do out in polite society.
I'm glad you elaborated there, because there's a lot of really kind stuff there. And but when you said there was going to be police there, I thought there was going to be like riot police for, if you don't believe in Wilson, then you will be evicted. This is my space.
Yeah, it's all going to be it's all going to be 1984 now, isn't it? Yeah. Which mean you don't like the music? Out.
And Big Brother Rich, the big lovely, you just kind of keeping an eye on everyone.
Just looming over, you can just see my face just looming over the top of everybody, like the sun in the Teletubbies.
And that's the headline festival every day. Just everyone praises the sun god. We're good.
As I come, hello.
Lovely stuff. Do you think there will be camping at your festival? Is it mandatory?
I think what we'll do, we're going to have pods that people can sleep in, so you don't have to bring your own tent. That's mental. That's the only thing about camping is that at a festival, it's because it's bound to be crappy weather at some point, and you're going to be so pickled you don't really know what you're doing. And so I think what we need to install are pods. Everybody gets a pod. So depending on how many people there are, you get like a 4-man pod or whatever you get, and so I mean that's going to take up a lot of ground, but I think it's worth doing. And so all you have to do at the end of the festival is just leave, and then the pods are easy clean. We put them away, ready for the next time. So you haven't even got to worry about that. You sort of gather your things and bugger off at the end of it.
Yeah,
I think that's what you need to do.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Leave up. We'll sort out the pods. You just got to crash in them. Don't knacker them, because otherwise you won't be able to come back. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that way we don't have to deal with a load of crappy £15 tents getting left.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it sounds more hard work, but like environmentally, it sounds really very sound as well. It's nice to have.
Yeah. Oh, maybe we'll make the pods. Maybe we'll make the pods out of a material that they only lasts. However long the festival lasts. I say the festival is like a weekend, so you get there on say Thursday night, and then you leave either Sunday or Monday morning. So we erect them before that. I think they only last 2 weeks because then they dissolve.
Yes, oh my god. What material are they
So
made
the
out
pods
of?
just, I don't know, candy floss, like something like that just dissolves.
Candy floss and flatulence.
It's it sounds yeah. So I think you've got this material that is only structurally like, you know, strong for 2 weeks, and then after that it just dissolves, and there's no sign of it, and it's all good for the earth, it's all good for the world. It fertilizes the ground that it was on.
Absolutely. And
I haven't worked out the details yet. I've literally just thought of it, but
you're an ideas man, Rich. You don't need to figure it out, you know. It's
I'm just they just pop out of me.
But enough about your flatulence. Let's move on to your main festival, please. Yeah, let's head over to the main gates of your music festival. Get ready for a gratuitous guitar solo. Here we go for 14 minutes. So what kind of artists do you think might be at your festival, Rich?
Well, I think at the beginning, right at the beginning, just to ease us in, you're going to have some nice chilled out vibes coming from, I think, like a forest sort of area with a clearing in the middle of it. There's a lot of that sort of thing, with a lot of chilled out vibes coming out of that. Some groovy dance, some really chilled out. A little bit of folk coming from another area.
Yeah.
Something nice and easy. Everyone's easing into the festival. You know, we're not going too mad at the top there. We're just easing in. You know, you're having a look round, seeing what's there. You're going, oh, this is amazing. There's nice. Mm-hmm. There's wonderful. There's all manner of teas and coffees and nice things. You know, and then, you know, as we go in, you've got Fleet Foxes maybe on one stage. They're not up.
Yeah.
Easing us in, you know, we're not going mad. We don't need the Chemical Brothers on a Wednesday night, right?
Yeah, exactly. Start off with Metallica,
exactly.
You know, like as people come in. I think that's a really nice vibe. And are you starting on the Wednesday as well? I know you said it's going to be a month long, but do you think is it starting on Wednesday?
I think what we're going to do, a month is ridiculous. So what we're going to do, we're going to dial it back.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be. So you get there on the Wednesday, right, and you find your pod, and you find your friends, and that night there's, you know, no one's going. And I will say that to people on the way in. I'm like, look, pace yourself. Nobody paces himself at a festival. Everybody goes bananas as soon as they get there. They do all their drugs, and they're all finished by a Friday. Mm-hmm. You got to ease in. You got to ease into this stuff. In fact, we're going to take all of your drugs off you.
From the riot police.
To start with.
Yep.
Yeah. You could just look. It's not about that. I'm doing this for you. I want you to just ease into this, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow, and we're going to give you some, but we're not going to give you them all. Because we're taking you on a journey, nice and easy. So and there'll be a lot of nice. There's no flatulence yet, by the way. There's a lot of nice smells everywhere. There's lovely candles, and there's craft things going on. People are making stuff and showing you things, and it's just nice. You know, the weather's glorious, so it's nice. Everyone's having a nice time. And I think, you know, stuff like a lot of acid jazz kind of, that groovy sort of soul music. It's all nice and vibey, really nice. So maybe some old hippie stuff from the 60s. You know, we're just coasting into this, and that would be on the Thursday. So that's how that starts.
Brilliant. Yeah, I think Wednesday and Thursday are always brilliant days just to kind of like get settled, you know, get to know your way around the campsite, kind of enjoy the other things which the festival has to offer, like the crafts, for example. And it's nice to have Fleet Foxes there as well. That's a nice treat as well. It's good to have them on.
Lovely.
Let's head to your Friday as well, where things are bound to kick off very soon.
Oh, yeah.
Who is the first musical act on for your Friday? Who's going to give that energy to the start of your festival?
I think John Grant would be a nice transition from kind of chilled out, easy vibes, getting into more of a dancey thing as well, because he covers all bases. So I think we'd start off with John Grant would be a perfect start to the festival.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know much about him.
I don't. Please tell me more.
Oh man, he's got this album called Pale Green Ghosts. All of his albums are brilliant. John Grant is a phenomenal talent. He's a beautiful man, and he's got a song called GMF, Greatest Motherfucker, and it's one of the best songs you will ever hear. I urge you to listen to it after this. So I think we'd have John Grant would kick things off beautifully. That nice transition from like that kind of chilled out vibe to then like, oh, okay, the energy levels are going up a bit. Let's go. And I think that's John Grant would be the perfect way.
Brilliant. And I think that's, as you say, it's good to have that line in the sand being like, all right, you've eased in, now the party's starting. Because Friday's a good time to get that energy going, you know, like, and it's a good, I can't wait to listen to GMF. So it's going to be, I feel like I'm going to be very cool when I listen to it, Rich. Do you think I'm cool?
It'll change your life.
Yeah.
If you're not now, you will be. If you've got, as soon as you've got John Grant in your life.
Yeah.
You are immediately cool, and you become part of a very sort of select group that when you're talking about music to someone else, and you go, "Oh, have you listened to John Grant?" and they'll go, "Have I listened to John Grant? What about this?" and you become instantly cool.
Nice. And do you think that happens quite a lot, where like do you think music's important to connecting with other people? Do you feel like that when you talk to someone about a niche or like a certain type of artist, or you're like, wow, yeah, this and this and this?
Yeah, I think there's a thing in human beings where we do need to be connected in some way to someone, part of a tribe, you know. And music does that. If you see someone, or you talk, if clothing, for example, if someone's wearing a certain thing and you're wearing a similar thing, and you instantly recognize each other and you feel part of something, and that's what human beings want to belong. That's one of our fundamental things. We want to belong. And so music does that. When you're talking to people about music and they go, "Oh, have you listened to this? Oh, yeah. Have you listened to that?" And now you're building a bond with someone, you know. And music is a really easy way to do that. you can tell more or less straight away when you talk to someone about music. You go, right, so what's the first band you went to see? What's your favourite album? And now you're sussing each other out, you know. And I think it's important. And I think what will happen with this weekend, people are suddenly going to become a part of a tribe, and that's going to add to the euphoria.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's very touching what you're saying, actually. And I think it's humans are such a tribalistic species where we need that communication, we need that kind of connection to other people to feel good and feel happy. And honestly, I think I think the reason why I do this podcast is to connect with other people about music, and it's about their passions, and it's about what they love and what they are interested in, and that really makes me happy to hear. And exploring those options as well. Absolutely. What a great ethos to have in your festival, which I'm adopting wholeheartedly as well. So
it's all about peace and love and bringing people together at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Following on from John Grant, who do you have?
That is a good question. Because you don't want to ramp it up too much, but then you don't want to lose people as well. So I reckon I'd go from John Grant. There's a band called Corduroy, and Corduroy were around in like the 90s. They're like they're on the acid jazz label, they were. Awesome. And they're kind of like that. They have like a kind of 60s vibe to them. So I think they'd be great to have next level. We'd have Corduroy. They've got an album called High Havoc, which is really good. So I think we'll go John Grant, Corduroy.
Yeah.
And I think that'll take it up. That'll get people really dancing, you know.
And you mentioned High Havoc being one of the albums. With this festival, you're allowed unlimited stipulations with anything you want. Would you have them play that album in its entirety?
It's a difficult one because they have got a great back catalogue. So they've got another album. I think what I'd get them to do is pick some of the bangers from High Havoc, and I think I'd get them to play Out of Here in its entirety. He's got some absolute tunes on that one, so I think that's what we'd go for. But definitely having Corduroy on, I think, would really lift people up and really kick the vibe in. I think, yeah, definitely.
Wonderful. And are you the kind of person who is kind of at the front and in dancing at the and moshing along, or are you kind of sit back and participate from afar?
Well, yeah, this is it. I've done all manner of things. I've moshed. I've been at the back. Well, the last band that I inadvertently moshed to were Lost Prophets.
Oh
I
wow!
was at Glastonbury. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know then what I know
Yes,
now.
absolutely.
But,
Yeah.
I was at the front and I'm by the mosh pit, and my mate pushed me in. So I wasn't really moshing. I was just trying to get back out. I used to mosh at the Damned, the Wonder stuff. Going absolute shirt off, going absolutely bananas. I mean, I'm 49 now, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if my moshing days are with me anymore. I think they're quite behind me. I like to watch people mosh rather than mosh myself.
Yeah, I to be fair, I don't think the one thing that's been kind of keeping me going for the whole of through the pandemic is post lockdown to see Rich Wilson moshing topless at a gig. That I think that would be the thing that's pulling me through, and that's the thing I want the most.
No one's in any rush to see Rich Wilson, the hairy donut, bouncing around.
No, I'm all for that.
Off of exuberant teenagers. No one wants that.
And then when you start dancing, it's like, why is there no one else around? Oh, I've done it again.
Yeah. Oh no, it's Rich Wilson's. He's brought one of his bombs with him. Yeah.
do you reckon that bands have like a secret WhatsApp? You know, just been like, oh, have you? We had a Rich Wilson at a gig tonight. Oh no, he just dropped a big one.
Yeah, it wasn't about the smell, but you could see it. That was the weird thing. Yeah.
It looked like candy floss as well. Yeah, who else do you have on your Friday as well? Do you have many acts on your Friday?
I tell you what, there's a new band. I don't know if it's a band. I think it's one guy, and they're called Benefits. Mm-hmm. So they're a bit Sleaford mods. Sleaford mods. And I only came across him last week. He put a video up on Twitter, and it instantly spoke to me. There's a song, it's called Flag, and it's so angry about what's been going on, and about, it was like somebody took the screaming in my head and put it to music. I was just having a moment like the other week where everything was getting a bit much. All this lockdown stuff was getting a bit much. All the shit with the government was just doing my head in. I'm like, they're getting away with murder and it's doing my head in. Mm-hmm. And then I just saw this video, and I'm like, oh my God. I didn't know if I was thinking it or this was actually, I was listening to it. It was so, the synergy between my thoughts and this music was perfect. And I'm like, actually, yeah. So we're easing in. We've got Cool Joy, and now we're going to have Benefits. We're going to have Benefits, and Benefits is going to ramp it up. And now people are really going to be bouncing, and they're really going to be getting the energy out. And I think that's what we'll do on a Friday.
Wonderful, and I think there's a very vivid picture you just painted there as well, like being able to just connect instantly with a piece of music. One of my favorite artists is Jeff Rosenstock, who is a punk musician, and he dropped an album last year called No Dream, and there's just songs on there which I'm like just sum up the whole of the year and our continuing experience. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like it's eerie how close what he's saying is applicable to my real life. Do you know what I mean? I love that. That's it's about connecting with people, not just us connecting with other people, but the musicians connecting to us. To feel heard and validated is so important.
Yep. When music connects to you on that level, and you just feel, it's like, oh my God, you've reached into my mind and you've pulled this out of my head. And the video's great. It's just him stood in an alleyway and he's just bouncing his head while this song is just screaming in the background. And it just absolutely stopped me in my tracks. And he's got some brilliant stuff. I had a look on Bandcamp and I'm like, right, I'm having that. It really spoke to me. And I think it's well worth people's time. So Benefits, man. Benefits.
I'll be checking those out afterwards for sure.
Yeah.
And so I think the crowd is going to be quite lively after that. Who have you got to wrap up your Friday? Do you have is it straight into headliner, or have you got a couple more acts?
I think what we'll do, So we've got Benefits. And then I think, who would we have? That's a good point, actually. On the Friday, I think we'd have Metallica, maybe.
Yes. Hello. Hey.
And now, I'm not a big Metallica fan.
Okay.
I know I like a couple of bits, but I am well aware that when you stick Metallica on anywhere, people go mad. And I think having Benefits ramp them up to that level, there's nowhere really else to go other than Metallica. I think people's heads would explode.
Yes, absolutely. And I think I am a big old fanboy for Metallica, and I gotta be honest, I don't think anyone's ever picked them before on this podcast, and that is a crying shame, Rich. Crying shame.
I really like when I was doing some work at a t-shirt place for some mates of mine, and they're all big on Blink 182 and Green Day, and they're all big Metallica fans. So that's what we had on all day, and I didn't really know much about Metallica. Like, it's just something it just doesn't resonate with me. I mean, I get it, but they played the early stuff. I'm like, the early stuff's pretty cool. So I like the early stuff of Metallica. But there's no denying that Metallica on the Friday night, on the beginning of a festival, you're already onto a winner. And that sets people up for the rest of the weekend.
Absolutely. And I think it's a legendary start to the festival. And we kind of talked about pacing ourselves at this festival. But on Friday night, what is the nightlife like? Is it going to be crazy throughout the whole weekend?
I think there's going to be areas of that. People just won't be able to help themselves. But
I've tried to ration your drugs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, by then they've broken into where we keep the drugs and they've taken them all. Everybody's off their nut. Everyone's done all their drugs. With the best will in the world, you're not going to stop that. So
yeah.
So now Friday night, Metallica are on. The place is going bananas. Absolutely bananas.
Is there kind of like a lot of like DJs on into the midnight hours?
Oh yeah, there's all sorts now. By now, because you've got surrounding the festival, you've got like I say, there's like wooded areas with an open like a glade in the middle, which I always find that's beautiful to have. So you can either have you got a bit of dance going on, maybe the Chemical Brothers or Groove Armada, they're DJing in one corner, that's going on over there. But then if you want something a little bit more indie, you've got that over on the other side. You've got Gary Crowley spinning some old Northern Soul, stuff like that, because he's big on his Northern Soul. So Gary Crowley was always a part of my life ever since the early 80s. He was always the presenter of various TV shows, music TV shows, and he was a big, he was around with the Jam and his mates with Paul Weller and all that sort of thing. And he's a lovely dude. So I think we'd have him DJing a bit of Northern Soul over in one corner. Fantastic. There's all manner of things going on. So if you're not into Metallica, you can go off and have a bit of fun. And the thing is with this festival, I don't know how they've managed it, but there's no noise bleed from anywhere else.
Oh, hello. Now that's a detail that I love. Yeah.
Yes, they've managed to bend the sky to a point, the atmosphere to a point where you can't hear anything else that's going on. You can only hear where you are.
Well, I was going to say that was implausible, but then again, your face is literally on the sun, so I think anything's a fair game at this point.
Exactly. You've got to go beyond what you're actually capable of. This is my festival, and that's what I want.
I think it's time to let's see what you got in your Saturday as well. So, which artists do you have on your Saturday?
All right, I think we kick off with Billy No Mates. She's again.
Yes.
She's really cool. I think we kick off with Billy No Mates. Nice one for the Saturday. Really interesting vibe. I've only just started getting into her. She's only just popped up in my world the last few weeks or last month or so. So I'm only just starting to get into her, but she's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Well worth your time. Yeah, I think it'd be a beautiful way to start off.
You've definitely picked a lot of people who are fairly fresh to you as well. Do you think you champion new artists? Are you quite good at finding these things out?
Yeah, I'm always looking for new music all the time. I don't even realise I'm doing it. I'm just passionate about music and new bands, and I think because I used to be a mod, so you get caught up in you're only listening to one sort of music and you're dressing in one sort of way, and And I found that quite stifling. No disrespect to the mod people. I've met some beautiful people and continue to still have friends that we've all sort of started off in that area. Now our lives are like an amalgamation of all manner of genres and styles. And when I hear, I'm always on the lookout for new music, and I think it's important. I think it's important for people to realise that you can still pump out new stuff. You don't have to be stuck listening to the same old band all the time. It's exciting.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, I completely agree. And yeah, listening to new music for me is such a joy. And just, again, it's just finding that connection with like, oh, hello, who's this? Hi. It's like it's like meeting a new friend, isn't it? You know, it's wonderful.
Yeah, I love it. I'm really nothing gives me greater pleasure than discovering new, brilliant music.
After that artist you just have on, who have you got after?
So after Billy No Mates, and I urge you to check her out, she's excellent. I think we'd have, who do we have after that? I think we'd go old school, and I think we'd have Susie Quattro from the 70s.
Yeah.
Let's go her. I think we'd split it up. We'd have Susie Quattro and then Blondie as well. I think they'd be in that.
Yes, mate.
Yeah. So, I think so. We'd have them after Billy No Mates. I think that would be perfect. Now we're ramping it up again. We're going up again. I just really love. I love powerful women that seem to, because a lot of these things, like comedy, a lot of the time seems a bit of a boys' club, and it takes a certain kind of woman to kind of push through. And I know that might sound sexist, and it's just, it's how it is. And so when you see someone, for want of a better phrase, someone playing an instrument that might be seen as quite, I don't know, quite masculine, like the bass or the drums, it really resonates with me. I like to see that, and I think Blondie, Debbie Harry, and Susie Quattro are two of the most powerful women that have ever been, and I think it would, it's a perfect way to start.
Yes, absolutely, and I really resonate with a lot of women in rock as well, because like rock is my kind of I was gonna say my bedrock, but like it's my kind of home in music. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think those female artists who they really astound me as well, and even today there's like brand new. What's better, seeing a lot more female artists come through and do some really, really creative and wonderful stuff. Like I've recently got into a band called Meet Me at the Altar, who they're a LGBTQ plus female group, and I just think it's and they do like power pop punk, and it's just brilliant. It's enjoyable, and with a good heart as well. It's nice.
Yeah, there's some great bands around. There's Goat Girl. Girl from Deptford. They're a great all girl band. They're fucking brilliant, like proper, quite indie punk sort of thing, vibe going on. Dream Wife. They're really cool. Really cool. What's the other one called? Not Bang Said the Gun. That's a spoken word night. What's it called? Shoot the Gun. I can't remember what it's called. Something about shooting a gun. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. But they're brilliant as well. They're really cool. There's some fantastic stuff around, and it really excites me, because as much as I love men doing music, there's just something special about women with a don't give a fuck attitude, banging out some tunes. Absolutely. I love that. And I saw Blondie live as well, and they're great. I didn't really, I appreciated it at the time, but looking back, I'm like, that was a really special moment. Do you know what I mean? Like it was one of the things that you enjoyed it at the time, but looking back, it's like, that was ace. That was ace. Nice. So after those two artists, who have you got for the remainder of your Saturday? That is a good question. And I wasn't sure who to go with, really. I'm trying to think who I'm really into at the minute. There's so many to choose from. Who would I go for, man? Closing the show is Lizzo.
Yes, hello, yes, yeah.
Lizzo's going to be our closer on the, where are we? Saturday night. Yeah. So it's going to be Lizzo.
It's very eclectic having Metallica and Lizzo, but very good combination. I would definitely love this festival.
Exactly. We're not fucking about, mate. We're not fucking about. Yeah, so I think Lizzo closing the show would just take the roof off and get on this. So everybody, they broke in and they took all their drugs back and they did them all. So now they think, oh no, what am I going to do? We helicoptered a load in. We just dropped them all over the festival. It started raining ecstasy all over the place. It just went everywhere. And for anyone listening going, oh, that's a bit irresponsible. Everybody at the festival, they can all handle it. They're not. No one's going to lose their minds. It's all fine. It's all fine.
Yeah, and like it's quite a special moment having MDMA being dropped in by military, like just dropping it in like as a package as well. That's wonderful.
Yeah, we're going to Chinook it in. There's going to be a load of Chinooks coming in. It's going to be like Vietnam. They're going to come out of the sun. They're going to come out of my face.
Yeah,
all these helicopters. It's going to be like Apocalypse Now. They're going to come in. Yeah. And you do dun da 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 da, and then all these drugs just drop to the floor.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a bit. Everyone's back up again.
Yeah, I love the smell of hemp in the morning. You know what I mean? Like it's very, very.
Yeah.
It's I love that. Yeah, it's famously the Fire Festival had like water supplies and food dropped in because they were on shortages. I love for yours, like you're in such a great position where you're like, you know what, we're gonna have drugs flowing in. That's lovely. You're like Pablo Escobar of the festival world.
Thing is, though, there's already going to be enough water for everybody. Everyone's got enough at my festival. Yeah. And when you leave the festival, should we leave that to the end? I'll tell you what happens at the end.
Oh, okay.
But at the end of the festival, when you leave, I'll tell you what happens.
Oh my god!
So we're all ramped up. We've had Billy No Mates, then we've had Susie Quattro, we've had Blondie. I think we're going to go. Who are we going to go with? Come on! I think we go Elton John.
Yeah. So is it Elton John then Lizzo, or are they both like? It's like a double headliner.
Elton John first.
Yeah.
Everybody's a headliner at my festival.
Yes.
Everybody is. They all get the same money as well. Everyone gets the same money. I think, Elton John, but Elton John sort of like in his 70s, early 80s prime is what we'll have. No disrespect to him, but in his prime, when he's doing his proper, Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, that kind of thing.
Yes, yeah.
So you got Elton John.
And early Elton John, he did like 2 albums a year, and they were all bangers. You know what I mean? There's a lot of like, high turnover rate from Elton John. You know what I mean? That's impressive.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's what we're going to go. We're going to go Elton John and then into Lizzo. Elton John introduces Lizzo, and then she comes out, and it just goes off. And then everybody else that was on earlier, they all come out as well. So you've got Debbie Harry and Blondie and Susie Quattro on bass, and it just goes off, mate. It's a massive party for everybody.
I think I would cry with happiness if that happened. That'd be just.
I'm crying now, just at the thought of it.
Bless you. And I think that's such a special moment, and I love how your festival coalesces together, and every moment is special and coordinated. It's really nice. But then let's head to your final day and let's see which artists you have.
I think we'd have an 80s kind of compilation of 80s bands that I was into. So you'd have Haircut 100, Level 42, and Hue and Cry.
Yeah,
I like them. I think that's a nice easy because Saturday night was crazy. We all went nuts, didn't we? The drugs turned up. We all went nuts. We all ended up. We don't even know how we ended up back at our pods, but we did. And I think so. Now we need something gentle again. So I think nice easy 80s bands. Haircut 100, Level 42, Hue and Cry. Maybe a bit of Kim Wilde.
Yes.
Maybe a bit of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, now it's a Sunday, even though we haven't got work we haven't got work Monday, it's still Sunday, let's respect ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Let's respect ourselves after having like LSD dropped from the sky. That's clawbacks. Let's have some of that dignity back, everyone. Let's take
it down a few.
It's nice. It's absolutely. I think that's nice. I think you're right. You got the feeling right, because Friday's like kind of like Bosch, get some energy. Saturday is like legendary zone, and then Sunday's more like let's have a nice chill. It's like it's a sandwich,
nice chill.
and you know what I mean. Like, it's like we had the Thursday, now Sunday.
But I'm telling you, it's going to pick up. Don't be fooled. Just because it's Sunday. The thing is, I was going to tell you before. What happens is there's no come down from the drugs that we dropped on you. You wake up the next day and you're refreshed. You're just because there's something in the pods that cleanses you as you sleep. So it gets rid of all the toxins and you're purified, and then you're ready for the next day.
Wow, that sounds.
I don't know the science behind any of this.
Yeah, just have a nibble on the candy floss of your pod, and it'll be lovely. Like nurturing. Yeah.
What you can do as well through your day, instead of lugging water around with you, the leaves on these trees, and the leaves grow back really quickly as well. It's like Dr. Zeus, and you can just snap a leaf off and have a suck. And it just fills you with all the nutrients you need. So if you've forgotten to eat and drink and that, you just suck a leaf, man, and it gives you everything you need, and off you go. Again, I haven't thought about the science.
Yeah, it's slowly kind of, as you say, like it's very like it's like an early Beatles cartoon. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just like Yellow Submarine, but the festival version.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah,
that's what happens. You go through the gate, and you become a cartoon. Yes. Everybody's a cartoon. Yes, I like that. So everyone's a cartoon now. There you go.
I can't believe you thought of all of these details just before the recording as well. Like you're definitely not improvising.
I'm making this up as I go along.
No, I'm just teasing. But so after those classic, awesome '80s bands, who have you got ramping it up?
Oh man, I think it's a tricky one, man. It's a tricky one. There's so many good bands out there. As a surprise to everybody, and I know a lot of people want this. I don't particularly want this, even though I'm a big fan of theirs.
What I love is at your dream festival, you're like, I don't really want them now, but let's stick them on.
I do. Well, the thing is, I want it's Oasis. Oasis we've managed to get Oasis back together.
Nice. For
this one festival. Noel and Liam have put their differences aside for one festival, and I think the draw was the fact that you become a cartoon like Yellow Submarine. They were like, we're having that.
Yeah, absolutely. They were well up for that.
So we've got Oasis back together in their prime. They're on after the 80s bit, and we didn't announce it either. People didn't know that was happening. We just said surprise guest, and so everyone's like, who's next? And then the opening bars of Rock and Roll Star come blaring out.
Yes, absolutely.
The backdrop, that Oasis sign with them, like the Union Jack going down a plug hole.
Yes, yeah.
So as the opening bars of Rock and Roll Star start, I've got goosebumps thinking about this. The opening bars of Rock and Roll Star start as that sign folds down from behind, and then they walk out, and the place goes bananas. We're talking. There's never been anything like that. No one knew this was going to happen. There was no sign of it. It wasn't on the news. This is a complete surprise to the entire universe.
That's so
and
awesome.
The people go. They don't know what to do with themselves, and it's epic. It's epic.
That's mind blowing. I think that's it feels like such a moment as well. Do correct me if I'm wrong, but are they? They're not headlining as well.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? What do you do after that? How do you top that? Because the place is just going crazy. How do you top that? And do you know what we did? Back from the Dead. We managed to get the Beatles back together.
Yes. Hello.
And with Jimi Hendrix on guitar.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. And then for the encore, Jim Morrison comes out and he sings Break On Through with the Beatles, with Oasis. The place is just, it's levitating now. The place is levitating. That's how you finish.
And then at the end of the festival, the festival is elevated to your mouth in the sun, and you engulf it whole, and everyone is one.
Yes, yes, in one big happy pill.
Yeah. Tell you what, like this is there's a lot going on with this festival, but not a single thing I do not like. It's just good. This is all fantastic work. Like
and then what happens? Like I say, you go back to your pod after it. We've had a massive party. We've been singing and dancing. Everybody that's been on for the entire weekend. There's been bands coming in. They're not even on. They're just there. So you've got Sleaford Mods. You've got Kings of Leon. You've got Madonna. You've got all these people just having a massive party with everybody. And then you go back to your pod, and then you're cleansed and you're clean, and then you just gather your things, and then you're driven home. Each and every one of you is driven home in your own taxi.
Absolutely, and you arrive back home. You're not a cartoon anymore, and you wonder, was it all a dream? It could be
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And there's no sign of the festival at all because it dissolved.
Like the candy floss and flatulence, it dissolves into Mother Earth. Absolutely.
Just dissolved. It's just gone back into the earth. Will it pop up again? Who knows, man? Who knows? But what a time we had.
Wow. Well, oh my God, Rich, thank you so much for sharing your festival with us. However, it's time to head to the final part of our podcast called Four Fillers. As with event management, things are bound to go wrong, so here are a couple of hypothetical questions that Rich has to deal with in a manner that he sees fit. So, oh no, Lizzo cancelled last minute. Who do you get to replace her?
Ah, shit. Well, Madonna's there. We just fling Madonna on.
Fling her on like a cannon. Boom. There you go.
Yeah. She's already there wandering around. She was itching to get on anyway. We're like, look, can you jump up and sing a few bars? So she jumps up. Turns out she's with Beyonce. They go up, and the pair of them smash it out.
Absolutely. That's a great compromise. I love that a lot. One of your acts have forgotten their equipment, but good news, they can do an acoustic version of their set. Which band, if you had to choose one of them, would you make to do an acoustic set?
That's a good one. That, blimey, I don't know, to be honest. Because you wouldn't want Oasis doing that, because that just kind of punctures what we've achieved by getting them back together. I don't know, man. I think John Grant could do it acoustically.
Yes, hello. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he could. I think that would be quite nice. Actually, he's got such an aura around him that would bring everybody in to him, and I think that would be quite intimate considering how many people are there. So I think John Grant.
Wonderful stuff. At the very end of your festival, Jimi Hendrix and Jim Morrison hate each other's guts. They say they won't perform if the other one is performing. Who would you pick out of the two of them?
Well, as we're all cartoons, we just rub them out. We just rub them out. You had your chance. You ruined it. So we'd get rid of them, and we'd have the Sex Pistols.
Lovely stuff, yeah. Oh, very. You know what? That is the most. I ask that question about different people's artists all the time, and that's the most original one I've ever had in my life. Let's just rub them out, erase them. That's
the beauty of having a cartoon festival. You can just rub people out. You go, no, you're ruining the vibe. You had your chance.
Absolutely.
off your pop.
And oh dear, someone's running late for your festival, and you need to fill the time. But fortunately, one of your favourite celebrities is willing to do a DJ set for you. They don't have to be a DJ, Rich, but which celebrity would you pick?
Oh, wow. Who would I have as a DJ, man? Ooh, who would I have? Who do I like? That's a tricky one, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't really. Wow, this sounds. I'm not snobby. I don't really watch. Who would I have? Oh man, that's the trickiest question. That one.
Yeah.
Ooh. I would have. Who would I have? Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, that's a bold choice there. I like that very lot. Yeah.
Now, I know some people find his films problematic in areas, but this is a cartoon festival. There's none of that going on.
Yeah.
And I think, he knows his way around a soundtrack. I think he would be the perfect person to DJ.
That's a fantastic answer.
There you go.
And final question. Your festival loves you, Rich, and I want you to sing one song at the festival. If you had to pick one song to join the artist on stage to sing, what would you pick?
Shit. I've sung Harry Connick Jr. Recipe for Making Love at a karaoke night. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah, I've done that before. I've done it really well, and I've done it really badly.
do it really badly at your festival.
I would do that, and I would have Harry Connick Jr. backing me up on piano.
Wonderful stuff, and that's a really awesome way to finish off Floor Fillers and to finish off the podcast. And it's been an absolute pleasure to have you, Rich. And
I've enjoyed it.
Where can people find you online, and would you like to plug anything?
Yes, you can find me I'm on Instagram and Twitter. I am Rich Wilson. You can find me on Facebook, Rich Wilson. I've got a podcast called Insane in the Membrane and Insane in the Fembrane, which I urge you to come and check out. We've had some phenomenal guests on there. Heston Blumenthal, David Baddiel, people like that. Hannah Rankin, who's the world #1 boxer. Some phenomenal guests. So do that. And I've also got the Tuned Up Time Machine, which is on Islington Radio, which is currently on Mixcloud, but that's for now. It's going to be moving. So watch this space.
Wonderful stuff. And Rich is such an absolute delight, so please go and follow him in every endeavour.
Don't forget to check out Matt Hoss's edition of Insane in the Membrane, because he absolutely smashed it.
Yes, thank you so much. But thank you so much for listening to Castival Podcast. If you like what we do, please make sure to follow us online. You can follow us at Castival Podcast on Twitter. And why don't you tweet at us and let us know what you think of the podcast and and if it smells bad whatsoever. You can also you can give us a 5-star rating online on Apple Podcasts. And if you like what we do, please tell your friends about it. But please join me one final time saying thank you to our wonderful guest. It's Rich Wilson.
Thank you, and thanks, mate.